Hello everybody, happy Monday. Welcome once again to join me. Start again. Thank you very much for joining me this week as we continue our graph adventures with wine. So this is week 16 and I was having a little think about what we could do. So I apologise, I've been a bit slow at updating the repo. So once I finish this stream, I'm going to go and update weeks 14, 15, and I will add this week as well. So I'll add all of that content in there at the end of today. So sorry about that. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. And what we're going to be looking at this week is dealing with the location. So for those of you who joined me a couple of weeks ago, so that was week 14, we were looking at the whole location thing. So don't worry if you can't quite remember, we'll do a quick recap on that. But we were having a look because we had this really weird thing where we had province and we have region and region 1 and region 2, and we're like, what does this all mean? So we had a look at some example queries, we had a look at what the data model might look at, and now is the time for action. So today what we're going to do is we are going to have a look at actually bringing that data in, do a little bit of cleanup. So we're probably not going to do all of the cleanup today, but we can start doing a little bit, and then we can figure out how we're going to take that next. So last week we did look at Bloom, so maybe we'll do Bloom again. We'll see how it goes. But the focus today is to sort out those locations. Right, let's bring up this. So let's bring up the data model once again. Remind ourselves what it looks like. So we've got this, and give me 2 ticks. Let me sort out the arrows data model as well to compare and contrast. Bear with me one moment whilst I get that loaded up. So sorry about this, I should have been a bit more organised. I am not. Right, I'm just going to quickly bring up what we came up with, which was this. So hopefully you should see that now. Okay, so if you remember, so what we've currently got at the moment is this. So we've got wine, wine's from a winery, winery's from a province, and province is in a country. And if you recall, we were looking at this because we had this data. So let's bring up the model in question as well. So we're comparing everything the same. So if you remember originally when we did our first data model and we were looking at all the various data elements that were available, we were like, okay, we've got region 1, we've got region 2. We don't know what region 1 and region 2 means. We've got province, we've got country, we've got winery, which is obviously where the wine comes from. And what we weren't sure about was how these things sit. And then we did a bit digging, and we'll talk about the weird stuff that happened. But I think we kind of came to the decision that there were no guarantees about province to country for a winery because, let's make it a bit prettier, because we found that some wineries, and this is what we need to get to the bottom at some point, maybe not today, but we had a situation, we had the winery that was in different countries. So we couldn't make that assumption about winery into region or province into country. So we thought, well, let's pull it out. So where we are at the moment is we go from winery to province to country. So one thing we need to change is go from winery direct to country. The other interesting thing that we found was for some situations, it's region 1 into region 2 into country. However, we did discover that some of our wines, region 1 and region 2 are the same. For some of our wines, country was the same as province, and so on. So we need to figure out how we're going to fix that. But for now, let's just load some data in, and then we can try and figure out how we're going to address those gaps. And where we left off on week 14 was we kind of thought, well, let's go with this assumption for now. So let's change our data model so that we go from wine, from region 1 to region 2 to province to country, and then we can do some kind of cleanup later. So if region 1 and region 2 are the same, then what we'll do is we'll get rid of that, or we'll put like no region 2. So the pattern that we have been doing here is So the pattern that we've been doing here is effectively saying, if we don't have something, then we put no something. So for example, if there's no winery, we'll put no winery. If there's no country, we give it a label of property of no country. And this example here, what we will do for now until we can figure out something better is we'll say if there's no region 1, then we'll just say no region 1. If there's no region 2, we'll say no region 2, no province, and so forth. So that's what we're going to do. Right, okay, brilliant. So let's do this. So I think the first thing we're going to tackle, and let me just bring up a notepad so I can write up what we've done, so I can put this up onto the webpage. So one moment, please. So the first thing we're going to do is, at the moment, we've got wine to winery to province to country. So I think the first thing we're going to do is get rid of that, so we go from winery straight to country. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this and just bind it straight into country. And what I'm tempted to do is get rid of the province node completely. And then what we can do is re-import it like this. Although we've got province to country. Actually, no, we'll leave province in there because we've got province to country. And then we'll just wire this bit in afterwards. Okay. It'll make sense as we get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the existing relationship that we have between winery and province to country. Is we're going to just put a relationship directly between winery and country. So let's quickly test this because I think we have a situation where we've got more than one province to winery. So let's just quickly bolt together a query and have a look at that in action. So did I already write one? We'll write it again. It's fine. All right, let's do that. So let's do winery. Oh yes, and what I was going to say, if you've got any questions or queries, or you want me to write a specific query, drop it in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on the chat channel. So for those of you who are regulars, you know I will quite happily pick up those questions as we go along. So it can be anything, absolutely anything, and we'll do that. So if you're like, hang on a minute, what are you doing with that data model? Ask away. It's all good. So what we're going to do quickly is look at how many provinces to winery, or the situations where we've got more than one province connected to winery. That makes sense, doesn't it? Or more than one province to country. I can't remember. We'll test the cardinality both ways. Let's see what happens. So winery, province, from province. Province. And we want to, with winery, collect. So this is assuming we've got more than one province to winery. So what I'm just doing here is I'm just going to get the size of that collection. I'm going to cheat slightly and get the names of those provinces. Let's do this, and let's return the winery name, the collection of provinces, the size, and we're going to do them from big to small. It's probably a bit of a mess. I'll explain this query in a second. Let's just get it running. Hopefully it's not going to take too long. Oh my goodness. Okay, so look, we've got a winery. So you can see the situation here. We've got a winery, and the winery has got loads of provinces. So what we probably need to do here is get the countries too, because I think we had the situation where we had provinces with different countries. So okay, that's that side, so that's fine. That's nothing unexpected. So let's do province to. Oh, I've lost my train of thought here, haven't I? It all made sense a moment ago. So what were we saying before when we were, because we were looking at the raw data before. So let me bring up the old query. Let's run with that, because it made sense when we looked at it 2 weeks ago. So I'll do the write up and I'll explore this because I'm quite keen for us to get cracking and get some data in. So let's do that. So let's connect. Let's let's do this bit. We're going to go winery direct to country. So, you know what? Let's just get rid of all of that and just re-import it from scratch in case we've made some weird assumptions. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get rid of province completely, and then we can reconnect winery to country and then the wine to the various bits and pieces that we discussed before. So wine to region, so forth. Right. Let's do that. I remember now, because what we were saying is that a wine can be from a single winery, but the winery may have different provinces, and those provinces belong to different countries. I remember now. So we wanted to split those out so that we always have winery to country, because a winery may have more than one country, because if it's a big company, they could have different things. And then we are not doing this false assumption that a winery... no, it's a right assumption, but I think we're just dealing with the region thing. So let's do it that way, and then we can always refactor it later. So I can't remember what the exact argument we made, but it made sense when we looked at it 2 weeks ago. Let's do that. It's all good. Right. Okay. So let's get rid of province now. How many province nodes have we got? Okay, so are we likely to have a dense node here? Winery to province. How many wineries have we got? Tread carefully. Right, okay, we will use periodic iterate to get rid of that, I think. So let's do... Oh, which one do we want? I think it's that one. Let's do... P province with P limit. Detach, delete, P, return, count, star. Okay. And then we want to specify our map of properties. So we can say limit 50. We don't know how dense those are, so let's tread carefully. So hopefully I've written that correctly. Nope. What have I done wrong here? Oh, well spotted, Kevin. I misspelled detached. It's not even green. I'm going to blame it on a Monday afternoon. But well spotted. Alright. What's it telling me? Okay. We had 426 updates. That would suggest that's the 426 nodes. Okay, brilliant. Right, so that's goodbye. Goodbye, province, for now. Temporarily. We're going to bring back province shortly. Right, okay, so let's do some loading. So let's start building this out. So let's start with wine to province. So I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to copy this. So what do we want to do? We want to merge. Let's have a look what we're doing here. So we want to match the winery, because winery we still have. So let's do match winery. And that's going to be row dot. Actually, let me just quickly do this. So we know what it looks like. And the reason why it's taking a bit longer is because it's downloading the file. So I'm going to be a bit lazy and download the file every single time I do my load CSV. But okay, right, so let's bring this back up. And we are going to do our winery is winery. Look at that, that's handy. So we're going to do Name is going to be row.winery. Okay, so we're going to match that, and then what we want to do is we want to merge province. That's going to be name, that's going to be row.province. Nice, and then we want to merge the relationship between winery and province. So good so far. Okay, so merge, and we're probably going to need to iterate this because that's going to be quite a lot of. Although it's 15,000, it's probably going to be okay. Let's see what happens. If it takes ages, then we'll use APOC or periodic commit. Okay, so we're going to merge winery. Let's go with from province. Oh no! I've done this the wrong way around. Hang on. I'm going back. I'm doing the whole thing I was able to do. I want to do country. Sorry about that. Oh, that's alright. It's all good. Match country. Name is going to be. Remember, we have some nulls for country, so we need to put in. A catch-all for that. And I have a horrible feeling we might have nulls for winery as well, but that's alright. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So it's going to be row.country, which I believe it was just country, wasn't it? Yep. And I know for a fact that we do have no country in there, so we're going to use coalesce. And if we've got a null, we're going to call it no country. Cool. And now we're going to do the merge. We're going to merge winery from country and lo and behold, this should all be magic and work beautifully. Famous last words. Oh, what did I do? Oh dear. Right, what have we done? I forgot to close off my coalesce function. There we go. Right, okay. I suspect we may need to, because we've got 120,000 rows. Yeah, we'll Alright, I think that's going to take too slow, so let's use periodic commit on this. So I think we need to put auto in, don't we? Let's do commit. Oh. Just quickly remind myself what that looks like. It's using periodic commit. I think the default's 1,000, and then you can specify. That's fine. We can converse whilst it chews through that. It's all good. Right. Let's put that in. So that's going to be it, and then we're going to be repeating a bunch of these statements as we do the rest of this. So region 1, region 2, province, country. So you know the drill. Similar idea. Oh, there we go. It's done. Look at that. See how much quicker it is when you do the periodic commit, and that's because you're basically saying chunk it up by X, because otherwise you think about it, we had a merge in there on the relationship, so it's going to keep storing everything memory, and it's going to be checking to see where that condition matches, and we don't need to do that because we can just pull them in every 1,000 and it can check, so that's why it's significantly quicker. Okay, right, so we have got that. So now if we do call db dot schema. There we go, so we can now see that winery is directly connected to country. Excellent, so now we need to build out wine to winery to region 1 to region 2 to province to country. Oh, good, so let's just quickly see. We have got indexes on country name, yeah, we know that. We've got on province, that's good. So I don't think we've got region, so we don't have any regions at all. So remember we did province, but we kind of, you know, at the start of this saga, we kind of shrugged our shoulders and went, region, don't know what to do with those. But now we do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an index for the names for region 1 and region 2. So we're going to create 2 nodes, region 1 and region 2. We can refactor later, not a problem. It's not pretty, but for now we're going to do that until we figure out what we're going to do with it. So needs must and all that. So let's do that to begin with. So let's do name, and we're going to do one for. We're doing this because we're going to do a bunch of mergers, so it means it's a lot quicker. We use an index to look up to see if something exists rather than having to scan everything all the time. So I'm just going to grab a note of that because that's what we did. And let's do those. Ooh, what's going on here? Let's do one at a time. Okay, that's an interesting bug, but that's fine. Should look into that. No, you are not late. No, you've not missed much at all. You've joined at the right time, Mahari. You perfect, exquisite timing. We are currently just going through and just implementing some models. So we're now just reloading our location data according to this, and then we'll see how the mood takes us. We'll try and do a little bit of in-graph cleaning as we go on. So we're just doing that at the moment. So we've just done this loop here, and now we're just starting on this loop. So perfect timing. So I created a couple of indexes for those 2 nodes because we didn't have them before because we weren't sure what to do with them. And now I'm going to do in true query reuse style. I'm just going to use the query we just ran, and I'm just going to change a couple of bits. For sake of not confusing ourselves, I'm going to change that to an R, and that's going to be region 1. Again, we're using the coalesce because we do know we've got nulls in there, so I'm going to do no region 1. I know, great name for that. Let's quickly remind ourselves of, I think is it region 1 or region underscore? Region underscore 1, region underscore 2. I'm probably going to forget that, so I guess some of you are probably going to remember that, but I'll keep it up there for now. So we want region underscore 1, and I'm going to do wine from, what are we going to call this? Let's call it region 1, region 2 to begin with. And then we'll have more sensible names later. So that's gonna connect our wine node to region 1. So we need to do wine, not winery. And I think it's wine.title, isn't it, we use. So wine.title. Oh, no. So this should be title. And this is going to be row.wine. I think we called it. No, wine.title. We actually call it title. Oh, we saved ourselves there. That could have been a bit painful to figure out what was going on. So that's the title there. So what we're doing is we're now, whereas before we looked for winery to connect it to country, now we're looking at wine title to connect it direct to region. Okay, so we've got match wine, match the region, and then we're going to merge wine from region. So actually, we don't even need to do a merge here. We can do a create, because remember we've got all of those wines and each wine's unique in our list, so we know it's always going to be a create, so we don't even need to do a merge because each one's going to create a new thing. We might change that in the future when we want to do wine groups to region, but for now let's stick with this. Hello Arden, thank you for joining us. So let's have a look at what's going on. Oh, sorry Kevin, I missed the query that you've posted in here. Can you talk a bit about the difference, what it means to write match winery, merge country, merge? Absolutely. Right, so let's talk about what's going on. So let me get this query running and then we'll talk through that question of yours, Kevin. I'm going to copy what you've done and we can paste in chat. So let me get this going and hopefully it's not going to complain too much of what I've done. Again, I'm just going to... Right, okay, whilst that's running, let's take this. So, Kevin's question here. Could you talk a bit about, well, the difference between, we've got to see why that's no records, no changes. We'll come back to that in a second. Difference between means to write match, merge, that. Okay, so the fundamental difference between match and merge is thus. So match, as the name suggests, will match a record based on a condition that we've provided. So in our example here, we were matching country, or the one that Query just run, I was matching the wine title. And what happens there is it goes away and tries to find a match for that wine title, and then it's going to put that result in the W in our variable. So we know it's a variable because it's to the left of the colon. That's what's going to happen. Merge operates slightly differently. So what merge does, it's a bit like an upsert in SQL. And what merge does is it says, I'm going to behave like a match. So I'm going to go away, and based on the parameters that you've provided, I'm going to try and match. So we used merge on when we did actually we did it for a region, didn't we? And I think that's probably why the query is not run, because I should be merging. There should be a merge here, which is why the query is not run. So Kevin, look, you're at it again. You're problem solving. Look at this. So what's happening here is with the merge, what merge says is go away and have a look for this. Have a look for this situation here where we've got a node with the label of region where the name is equal to our value here. So match. If you match this, if you successfully match this, put the reference in our variable here R. But the other part of this is if you do not find a node with the label of region 1 where the, and let's just assume here it's going to be the region, where the name is equal to this region, go and create it. So it's now behaving like a create statement, and then put a reference to this. So merge is really great if you know you're dealing with some duplicate data in your data set. So country is a great example. So you remember we've got something like 120,000 wines in our data set. But obviously we don't have 120,000 different countries. We're probably going to have like, we'll ask this later. I'm going to guesstimate we've got maybe 50 different countries. So the same country is going to appear loads and loads of times. And we know we want to match that country in the same region. We're going to have regions that appear more than once. So we want to match that region, but we have this special merge that goes, well, if we're seeing it for the first time and we don't have it in our data, then create that node. Otherwise, just match it. So that's what's happening. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. It's only going to create the nodes that don't already exist. Otherwise, it's going to match it. And yes, so I'm going to come on to your third merge between the relationships. So you see here I've got a create. So create doesn't do, oh, excuse me for 1 second. I have the sneezes. So what create does, create doesn't go off to check whether a relationship, or the best way to think about it is pattern. So anything to the right of create statement or a merge statement or a match statement is pattern. It's looking for that specific pattern, and a pattern could be a node. The pattern could be nodes and relationships. And what's happening here is when you use create doesn't bother to check to see whether that exists. It's not going to go, well, hang on a minute, for this specific wine and this specific region, do I need to go and check if there's a relationship of from region 1 between the two? It just goes off and creates it. And that's what create does. And I'm using create in this instance because I know full well that every single wine that we've got will have a unique relationship between itself and the region. So there's no point, so I know, so I'm going to use create because create is significantly faster. For performance-wise, it's fast. It doesn't need to check anything. I know my data and it doesn't need to do that. Now with merge, and I'm going to change this back to create, but let's write in merge so you can see what's happening. So in this scenario, remember merge is saying, does this pattern exist already? So everything to the left of a merge statement, a match statement, a create statement, think of it as a pattern. So whilst commonly we use nodes, don't think node, think pattern. And in this scenario here, remember how we said the merge for this. So this pattern here, which happens to just consist of a node, it's saying, well, does this pattern, which just consists of a node, already exist? And if it doesn't exist, go off and create that pattern. In this example, happens to be a node. Here, it's saying, okay, so check this pattern here where we've got this specified wine, and we know we've already looked up for that wine, and this specified region, which we've already, either matched or we've created. Now check to see, does this relationship already exist? And if it already exists, behave like a match. So now we're matching that specific node relationship node pattern. If it doesn't exist, then create that relationship between the two of them. So it's the same idea that's happening with merge. So where we use that merge idea for the node, we're now using that exact same concept for the relationship. So hopefully that makes sense. That's a great question. Easily a whole source of confusion around that. Okay, but I'm going back to create because we talked about that. So merge is always going to be a bit slower than create for the reasons, because merge is looking up to see if stuff already exists. Create just goes, hey, I'm creating. I don't need to do any checks. So that's the difference between those. So, quick follow-up on that. So, oh no, we've described the merge. So hopefully that makes sense. Kevin, if you've got a follow-up to that, please do. Or if the rest of you got any more questions, let me know. Right, so we're going to now create. So this is where we messed up. I had a match here. And bearing in mind, we've got no data in region 1. So we've got no data. So the match will work. It will run. But there's nothing to match against. So it's going to keep bringing back nothing. So that's why we had no records, no changes, but now we've got a merge instead of a match. We will have some data. So let's let this run. And we're going to have a second merge coming in when we do region 1 to region 2. So we're going to give that a few seconds to load up. Okay, so what have we got? What happens if you move your second line in the end of the third line? How do you mean? So if I move the second, I think you're referring to this, so in the end of the third line. Oh, I see where you're going with this. You're asking what happens if I do this monster. Yeah? Yeah. So let me change that to merge. That's a great question. And I cannot enough push on this idea. And I'm going to keep pushing on this idea. Think pattern. Think pattern. Whenever you see a match merge or a match merge or create, think pattern. Don't think individual nodes and relationships. So this can be a very special gotcha around this. And the gotcha is, remember, so I'm going to keep saying pattern. And when I used to do training courses back in my previous role at Neo4j, I'd always say, think pattern, think pattern. And the reason why I say this, so merge treats all of this as a pattern. Does this pattern in its entirety already exist? And let's walk through what might happen here. And what might happen here is if this exact pattern as is doesn't already exist, it will create it. And I'm just trying to think off the top of my head what happened. But what might happen is you end up getting multiple regions created because merge isn't smart enough to go, let me split out each of these tokens. It doesn't go, well, let me split this node out and check if this is, if this already exists, and if it doesn't, create it. And then let me split this bit out and see if it already exists, otherwise I'll create it. What it will do, it will go, this entire thing here, this is a unique pattern. So you're going to end up with loads of duplicate region 1 nodes, because whilst this on its own, we go, yes, we're expecting it. It won't, because this whole thing here, every single time, is going to be a unique pattern, if that makes sense. Because that's a unique pattern that from that wine region to that region. So you're going to end up with loads of duplicate regions, and you're going to look at your data and you go, well, hang on a minute, why have I got all these regions? I used the merge, surely it's that. So that's why I say, think pattern, not components, and you will do well. And then you see that. So it's a very powerful query. So hopefully do that. And it's really tempting, but yeah, think pattern, not components. Okay. So this is going to probably take a little while because we have got things. So what I probably should have done here is done a first pass where I created the regions and then did the second pass where I connected them up, because now it's having to do it along. So this is not an efficient query. I will write myself a note to do a more efficient query of this. Or if I get impatient, then I'm just going to can this query and we'll write it efficiently. So what we can do whilst this is running is do a copy paste special. We can write the next query whilst that one is working. So I'm going to match, just going to copy this basically, because that's what we're going to do. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to do a merge for region 2, so I should probably call these R1 and R2, otherwise we are asking for all sorts of pain. Region 2, there's going to be no region 2 if it doesn't exist. And then what we're going to do is R1, and this is where we are going to use the merge. So we may need to split this query out a bit because it might be a bit slow in performance. R2. So same idea. So we've already created region 2, so we don't need to merge it. So another question you may be wondering, or you may wonder when we finish this stream, is like, well, hang on a minute, why didn't you just do one big almighty merge, and then create and merge and all that stuff? So the thing to bear in mind are eager queries. So what the engine will try and do is it tries to pull everything into memory that's working. So it'll try and go, right, I'm probably going to need this variable, I'm going to need this variable, I'm going to need this thing over here, and this thing over here, because at some point you might ask me to rejoin them. So it'll be really eager and just try and keep everything into memory. And the more it does, it's going to slow down. And sometimes the best thing you can do is to just chunk out your queries and just chunk out your load CSV actions and just do them a bit at a time. And you'll find, even though you're doing several passes, the query can complete significantly faster than if you just try and do everything in one big query. So it looks a bit clunky, but it can be significantly faster. So that's why that's going on. Okay, so this is taking far longer than my impatient self cares to wait. So let's just kill that and make it a bit faster. Have we actually loaded anything in? I'm just curious. Yeah, so it reminds me, my colleague Mark's put together a blog post on eager queries, so ping me, I will hunt that out at the end and stick the link out. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this create afterwards. For now, let's just do it like this. Let's make sure that I've not done something silly with indexes. If you do something simple like this and it takes forever, you've probably had a bit of a blooper with indexes, which has happened to me quite a few times in this wine series. You'd think I'd be like, oh, no, I forget sometimes. So anyway, let's do this. So this should be significantly quicker if I just do the region on its own, and we'll do the same for region 2, and then afterwards we can sew them together afterwards. It'll all be fine. There you go. See, that was much quicker. And then if I now, as an example, if I now do a match and a... Oopsie daisy, we don't want this. Or did I just accidentally wipe out? So if I now do a match, this will be like super fast. This will be like seconds. Just check I've not done anything silly there. No, okay, so this will be like seconds. It'll be really fast. So let me just copy this query so I can remember what we did when I write this all up. It should be fast, so if it's not fast, it's probably because I've done something silly. Oh, you know what I've done? I'll tell you what I've done. It's indexes. You know how I was joking about indexes? It's the indexes. So I've put an index in the wine ID, not the title. So what I should do here is change... I should be looking up the title. So my index is on the title. So because I don't have an index on the title and I was doing it by title, what that means is it's having to look up every single wine. 120,000 wines we've got, and it's having to look up every single property every single time. Absolutely, Kevin, that's the point. That's the whole point. Like, we're all human, and I make plenty of mistakes, so please don't think worse of me. But, you know, hopefully it makes you all feel comfortable. So we all do them. It's all part of that adventure, and the trick is to know when you've made it. So this is a big hint. If that query takes a long time to run, it's probably something to do with indexes or not using them. So let's just quickly have a look. So we had our little scrape here. So I think I call it index, don't I? ID, there we go. We call it ID. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're matching the wine based on its ID, not its title. And then this will work perfectly like a song. So this will be like seconds to run. So that's why our previous query ran slow. So I shall make those updates accordingly. Grab a copy of this. So give it a few seconds to download. Yeah. I like that thinking, Mahari. Yes, I can buy into that. Oh, it is the part of the process. So again, my spidey senses are tingling here and going, why is this taking so long? Let's have a quick look. This is when I discover I've not called it Wine ID, I've called it something else. Oh my goodness. That should be like the thing. Every single time I should be looking at what I've called stuff. No, it is ID. My laptop is making a very interesting sound right now. It's like it's a helicopter about to take off. So it's obviously working for its dinner. So we shall be patient. No, so the reason, Lumen, why I'm not using a merge here instead of a create is because the reason why you'd use merge is if you think there's going to be more than one. Oh, there we go, it's finished. It just took its while. The reason why you'd use a merge is if you think there's going to be a situation where that relationship may already exist. So that's why you would add it. But in this scenario here, because we know in the data that I'm importing, every single row is a unique wine. And because we know every single one is unique, we know that every single relationship that comes off of wine, because each one's unique to region 1, is going to be a unique relationship. And because we know every single one's going to be unique, we don't need to use merge. Because merge is if we like, we know, or there might be a situation where there's more than, where we've got the same relationship between wine to region being replicated. But here we know there isn't. So I'm always going to pick create over merge because it's significantly faster for performance because it's not having to do any lookup. It just chucks out and creates. Whereas a merge has to check to see whether something exists before it creates. So that's why I'm using create here. But we're about to use merge. Good things come to those who wait. We are now going to do a merge. So let me grab this query that we prepared whilst we were waiting for this to load. There we go. So now what we're doing, so we've done this bit. So we've created wine to region. So with this bit we've done. So next bit we're going to do is here. So the first thing we need to do is merge. So we're doing merges on region 2 because we know that might be repeating. Well, we know it's repeating. There's going to be duplicates there. Without doubt there's going to be duplicates there. So we're going to merge region 2 and then we're going to do a merge between region 1 and region 2 because again there is a very high likelihood that that's going to repair, that relationship appears more than once in our data set. So we want to merge that. So now we're going to be using that merge. We're going to be getting our money's worth out of merge now. So we've already created region 1, so we're doing a match on that. We're now doing a merge on region 2, and then we're doing a merge between region 1 and region 2 because we don't know if there's more than one relationship. So that's what we're going to do here. So let's run that. Hopefully that shouldn't take too long. Famous last words. I think it's going to be more like this one here. It's going to take about 10 seconds. So obviously plus a few seconds because it has to download the data each time I run this. So let's give that a oh, there you go. Look at that. Done. Wow. So let's look at our work in progress. Haha, look at that. So look at this. Oh, we've got province all on its own. That's all right. We're gonna sort province in a second. We're gonna reattach province to this story. But there you go. Look, we've got wine. We've now got region 1 and region 2 in our data. Well, hey. So now we're gonna bring in connect region 1 to province, and then we're gonna reconnect province to country. All good. Let's do this. So again, I like to recycle my queries, as you all know. So let's just take this one up and rewrite it. So we're going to match region 2. We are going to merge province. Why not? I mean, I think we've already got province in here, but we're going to be good citizens, and we are going to just do it again. So P1 province. And again, if there's no province, which we know happens. This is when I discover a miswritten province. Oh, good job, I looked. That would have been painful. So, province, not Provence. No, province, and then we're going to do from province. P. Oh, we've got to switch these around. R2, from province. P. Okay, so what we're doing here, we are matching all of our region 2s because we've already done those, so we know that, oh, that would have been painful. Look at this, bugs everywhere you look. Everywhere you look. So this should be province. Okay, we're good now, we're in business. I think we've spotted everything. Give me a shout if I've missed something. So we're matching region 2 because we've already brought those in. We did that in our previous pass. We're now, just in case, going to merge province and get a province node, and then we're going to connect our region 2 to province. No, region 2. Here it is. We've done... Oh, no, well done. Kevin, you do it again. Superhero. Decipher superhero. Well done. So we've got these 2. So we've got region 2, no region 2. We've got province. And then we're just going to connect them together. So we're now going to do this bit here. And then we're going to do province to country last. So, right, let's grab a copy of this query and run it. So that shouldn't take too long. Bear with me one moment. There we go, just a blink of an eye and it was done. That was fast. Okay, so last but not least, let's plumb that country in. So I'm just going to remove this because I'm just going to bring all sorts of pain to myself. So we don't actually need to merge anything. So country should exist, but there, let's merge it anyway, just in case, you know, it's fast enough. We don't have to be too concerned about this. So we're going to match our province. We know that exists. We've just sorted that. Let's do a merge on country. We could have probably just done a match, but just in case we accidentally missed the country out, I don't know. I can't remember what I did 2 months ago. 2 months ago. I don't know when we were playing with this last. I think we started. Was this July we started this? Oh my goodness. It's been fun. Right, so let's do name. Coalesce, because we know there are situations where you don't have a country. Coalesce row.country and no country. Okay, and then we're going to merge province, country, and from country. Okay, so let's see. We are matching the province. We're going to, just in case we've missed a country, we're going to merge country, and again, we know there's some no countries, and then we're going to merge province from country, and then that's it. Then we'll have done the whole thing. Ooh, so let's do this. Right, let's let that run. I'm just going to take a copy of that for posterity even, prosperity and posterity. Okay, so give that a few moments. That shouldn't take too long. Hey, and now the final product. Drum roll, please. And we will have successfully refactored our graph once again. So there we go. So we have got wine to region, region 2 to province to country, and we go the other way around from wine to winery to country. So there we go. We have done that. We have done our bit of refactoring there, and we've brought in our regions. So now we can start to do things where we start to squirm slightly and we discover that they've put the same region 1 and region 2. So let's do it. We've got our data in, so let's do a couple of queries to have a look at it. So let's do match R1 region 1. I'm just going to be lazy here. I'm not even going to bother with specifying relationship type. Region 2, where R1.name is equal to R2.name. And we can now we've got the data in here. Rather than, remember 2 weeks ago we were working with the CSV. Now we've got the data in the database. We can now analyze it here. So it's a lot quicker for us. So let's return R1.name, order by R1.name, and let's see some corkers. Oh, it's not too bad. 10 records, but you get the idea here where we've got those ones. And we can do stuff as well where we can, I'm going to be really lazy, like super lazy Lou. Let's do this to country. Oh no, province even. Same idea. How many situations have you got with region 2? Okay, that's fine. What about region 1? So we have to go through region 2 to get there, but that's okay. So I'm just going to check all this R2. R1, region 1, region 2. Right. How many? Oh, you know what I did? I forgot to do the P. So let's do order by, let's see how many, oh no, so that was correct the first time, wasn't I? But let's quiz province, otherwise we are confusing ourselves badly. We don't want confusion. All right, how many times is region 1 the same as province? 40! 40 records, that's insane. Missions where region 1 is the same as province. I mean, that's gonna, it confuses me, I don't know about you. So let's fill this detail in a little bit. So let's return the region 1 and then region 2.name. So what happens? Do we have, is it going to be like no region, no region? There we go. Look, well that's not at all confusing. But that's okay, because we can work with this. We can do stuff around this. So, there we go, look at this. Central Valley, Champagne, well that's going to be France, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we get this, so now we can do something. We've got this data in here, so we can do something around this. So that's cool. Let's really go crazy. What about country? I bet you we've got, we did this, didn't we? We saw we had some regions that were countries. I think for like small places where, or smallish countries, we have that. So let's have a look at that. So let's do C country. Where? C.name. Hey. Right, how many do you think we've got? Let's stick with R1 for now. Let's do this. Where region 1 equals country. Loads. 40 countries. Yeah. So we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do about this. But we've got the data in, so that's the thing. And we can start to make some decisions. So what we've not done, but this is what we need to figure out, is can we get rid of some of these? So another question I now want to do quickly is, let's take this whole chain and I want to do it where we've got information for every single one. So do we have a situation where not one of these is no something? So let's do that. So let's go with where R1.name, how do we do this? Is not equal, oh yeah, do this. Obvious. No region 1. And R2.name is not equal to no region 2. And P.name is not equal to no province. And C.name is not equal to no country. Right, How many of these do you think we have? And I'm going to return everything. Return start. Let's go crazy. Order by region 1. Let's see what happens. Oh no, I forgot to. I don't want to return the nodes. That's all right. We'll rewrite this. I did return star. I asked for that, didn't I? That was that. I was asking for that to happen. All right. R1.name. R2.name. R. Oh no, we don't have an R3. I'm getting too excited there. C.name. Okay, so we've got. Let's see how is this? 204. So that's really interesting, isn't it? So we've only got out of the different paths. So we should probably do a count for how many paths we've got between region 1 to. Should we do that? Let's do that quickly. Sorry, I digress a little bit. So let's just quickly see what the count is for this. So let's do a quick count of how many different paths we've got between region 1 and country. Let's do return count star. I think will do this for us. Oh wow. Okay, no, I think we've probably done. That's okay. That's not what I wanted it to do. That's not quite the expected behaviour. But okay, we'll come back to that in a bit. But what's interesting is string comparing case. Yes, string comparing is case sensitive, Lumen. So absolutely, you need to keep an eye on that. So what's interesting here then is we only have 204 cases where we have this thing that goes all the way through. And the more interesting thing here is we have this situation where we've got this California other than California. Well, that to me would mean that we don't have region 2. Or do we care about there being? Don't know. That's a decision we'll have to figure out what we want to do. So let's have a look. Central Coast California probably gives us information. An interesting one as well, you get Napa. Look at this. So we had this one, Napa Sonoma, and I think we had a Napa Samana up here, or am I imagining things? No, we didn't, because we're Salta Disperse. That's not right. We got this Amador Napa. But anyway, so we've got this stuff going on. So well, what do we want to do about this? So we've got a lot of these other. So, we have some decisions to make, don't we? So that's interesting. Sonoma, we had, and this is, oh, look at this. We're back. We've got our familiar friend where we've got this Sonoma, and we had Sonoma Napa, didn't we? I remember that. It's Napa Sonoma. So, do we want to start splitting these out? Do we? Like we did with grape variety, like we did with description words, maybe this should be a bit of fun. We can do a bit of cleaning with our data. So maybe we can think about this. We can tokenize all of this and then try and clean up our region. So maybe that's something we can do and bring in some more information. So we have a load of these. Oh, look at this. Loads. So I think... All right, then. I'm going to divert slightly. Let's look at this Sonoma, because this is interesting. So I'm going to... Where is... Let's do this. I'm intrigued now. So let's do... Where is this? So let's have a look. Okay. Oh, look, there's a picture of a vineyard as well. That's so cool. Okay. So we've got our Sonoma here. And look, we've got pictures of... Oh, I might end up like having a look for one of these as well, one of the wineries. But we'll do that in a second. Anyway, so we've got this Sonoma. So this now becomes interesting. And let's do a quick query. I know I'm bouncing all over the place. I do apologise, but I get very excited. Region probably should have been a node from the start. Yes, but the only problem we had, Mike, and it is absolutely, the problem that we have is that we have a lot of very strange data going on. So here, most of our regions are behaving reasonably well, but we had other really weird situations going on where the region would be the same as a country, or that kind of thing. And we have like a sizing issue going on. So even here, we've got a bit of a data cleaning activity that we're probably going to do, and that's all right. I mean, I don't know about you all of you, but I love the data cleaning. This is great fun. I think this is good. It's really satisfying when you figure out a neat way to automate the cleaning. So I'm going to quickly have a look. So what I'm going to do is, let's do this Sonoma, because I'm intrigued now. Contains Sonoma even. I apologise, I've completely butchered the pronunciation for that. And this is going to be or Provence. Oh, what did I do here? Press return. Let's see what happens. I'm not really worried about the country. I don't think the country is going to contain Sonoma. All right, let's see what happens. Let's do this. See? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Right, okay. I think we've got a good example of what we might be tackling next, and I think we've got a nice bit of fun here to deal with these, because what I suspect's going on here. Let's do a quick look. Of yes, Mike, we do that. We have a node of no region. So the thing that we weren't too sure about the ordering of the regions and provinces. So this is what was going on here. So this is what we settled to, but many weeks, months gone by, we weren't too sure, so we had this because we couldn't understand what was the difference between region 1 and region 2 and things. So we put it off for ages, and it's only now we're sort of grabbing the bull by the horns and dealing with it. So we've got this going on. So this is interesting because, well, this, I mean, I apologise for my terrible knowledge of US geography. I'm just going to quickly pop this in here. Let's have a look. So this is Monterey County, which is okay. Ooh, okay. That's a big part of California. So I'm assuming that within Monterey County we have got. Well, now let's do this. Let's chunk it out. Napa County. So we've got several counties. So my theory here is this is probably one of the bigger wine producers. And they've just basically put together, yeah, look, that's a different region. Again, oh, it's that beautiful view of the vineyards. I like that. It's very, very appropriate. And Sonoma County. So I think what's going on here, and this is going to be an interesting challenge to solve, not today, so I think we're going to wrap up shortly, but I'm very keen for us to figure out how we're going to do this. We've got 3 counties here, and this is a great example of if I was in relational land, so if I was looking at this and I brought this data in, I would look at that, and my argument would be that this is unnormalized data. So you remember, you think about your normal forms, and your first normal form is to split out your data. So where you've got 3 bits of data in one cell or one line, which is effectively what we've got here. Your first part of your process of denormalizing your data would be to create 3 separate regions here, or provinces, or we need to figure out a definition for this. But what we would say is that these should be 3 nodes, not all on one node. Does that make sense? So this should be split out. So this is where we start thinking about our business rules. What are our rules defined to this specific project and what we're dealing with? How do we want to deal with this? So that's one example. So this should be, I would argue, this should be 3 nodes, and yet we've got 1 node. And I think the reason behind that is because this is probably one of those really big wineries, and this big winery's got loads of different areas, and just for the data they've just chucked them together. Or it could be that the wine's being pulled from these 3 different regions. So I don't know how commonplace it is, but I certainly know that certain wineries, if they've had a bad season for grapes, they'll go and buy their grapes from a different place and then use those grapes to make their wine. So maybe that's what's going on here. So that's an interesting one. We have things like here where we've got very specific going on here. So I want to do something quickly now before we wrap up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to query the wines where, or the wineries where our region 1 has got a hyphen in it. Because you can see here, just very quickly, if we eyeball our data, we can see where there's a hyphen, we've got more than one county in there. And we can figure out how we want to represent this. So let's do that quickly before we wrap up. So let's do winery to region. So let's go winery to region where R1 contains a hyphen, and we are going to return the winery name and the region name. And I'm just going to get rid of this so that it doesn't complain at us. So let's see what happens. Oh, what did I do wrong here? Oh, because it's from wine. Okay, so we've got to go from wine back to region. That's okay. So we do, this should be wine. And winery. And we said that it's wine to region and wine to winery. Okay, so let's do, so winery to wine to region, and we want the winery name. Right, this is a bit of a, that'll be fine. See what happens. Right, let's do this. Ooh. Interesting. We're going to have to do a bit more Googling. What have we got? The hyphenated ones could be set up with multiple edges association nodes, though. Yeah, so we need to figure that one out, Mike. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with this, because I think it's of value to be able to split out the different region nodes. So if you've got 3 counties in one node, I want to split those out. And there's a number of reasons why I want to do that. Maybe there's something interesting about the wines. Maybe we want to look at wines from different regions. At the moment, we can't do any kind of or deal with ordering or that kind of thing, whereas when we split them out, we can. So we're probably going to do some tokenization there, and there's probably going to be a whole heap of other reasons why we'd want to do that. So let's see what we've got here. We've got, I'm going to do a distinct, because I'm not really worried about it. So the reason why we've got multiple is there's probably multiple paths. It's going to be the same wine and... Sorry, different wines that have the same winery and region. So I'm just going to get rid of those. So we have this Alex Cote. So right, that's immediately going into maps. Where is this? Oh no, it is actually Alex Cote. So that's yet another fun thing for us to deal with. We'll figure it out. Oh look, vineyard. Okay, we'll figure that out. Look, Australia, New Zealand. So Yellowtail, I mean, they are, in the UK, they're massive. They're a massive wine producer. So there we go. We've got region, and they've got 2 countries in as the region. So we've got to think about this. We're going to have to take a step backwards and think about this. But that's an interesting one to tackle. I think we're going to end up generating some reference data and using the reference data to clean up and define. Here where we've got as a region, those should be 2 countries, not as a region. And I know these are a group, so I don't think they're necessarily, I think they're specific points. I actually ordered a bottle of Beaujolais Village recently. So I think this is all in Beaujolais, all of these will be in Beaujolais, so that's a region in France. And then I think these are just referring to specific points or things that they do. So that's another one we have to tackle. What's the source of my data, Mike? It is from oh, my brain's not working. I've forgotten the name of the website. Kaggle. There we go, Kaggle. So I got the data from Kaggle. So you got the link here. So let me post the link. This is the data set where I got the data set from originally. So it's an Excel spreadsheet is where I pulled that from. And you've got all the right up here, so I'll pop that in there as well. Okay, so we've got some interesting things here. So this is going to be a fun problem to solve. I'm looking forward to this. Something to sink our teeth into. So, yeah, okay. But we've achieved stuff. Yes, Kevin, you have. I will look at that. So my apologies. I need to check on that. But yes, I do have your link. I copied that somewhere in my notepad. So I will refer to that and thank you. Okay. Right, so I think what we're going to do is we've set up what we wanted to do, which was to load this data in, and then we've got a nice bit of fun to refactor, reprocess, clean, so forth that data, and maybe we'll end up with something pretty like wine, region, province, country, maybe. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me today. So I'll hang around on the chat for a couple of minutes after I stop the stream. So if you've got any questions, let me know. I'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, don't forget, we've got a Nodes Extended session on Thursday at 2 p.m. UTC. So please come and join us on Twitter. It'll be good fun. Otherwise, I will see you all next week where we'll have some more wine fun. So have a wonderful week and I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.